Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to check out a massive case collection for our brand new S23, S23 Plus, and S23 Ultra. We're going to be looking at cases from ESR, VRS Design, Poetic Cases, and even Whitestone dome glass makers. They make cases now directly for our devices. This is TK. Let's check them out. Like and subscribe, and make sure you hit that bell icon so that you're always notified to whenever we have new videos on the channel. Okay, so in front of us we have right now is the S23 Ultra that I have here in green, and I have a demi model right here specifically for the S23. Now the S23 Plus will also look very similar, just slightly bigger device. We're going to start off with the first case. This is going to be from Whitestone Dome Glass. They make cases for both devices, and of course I'm going to show you guys the S23 Ultra. Very nice, very rugged. It has nice bumpers on the side. It's a see-through case, which allows us to actually enjoy our device. And what I mean by that, essentially we're able to use the device and see the color, especially if you're getting some of those custom colors that are available. The camera optics on the back are definitely protected. You notice there is no more bump, and it's actually pretty much a flat experience. The buttons on the volume rocker and the power button are covered. And of course, we have an opening for the microphones on the top, the data port, as well as the S Pen, with a nice little option to be able to basically just push it in, pull the S Pen, and when you're not using it, put it back in and close it in. It does protect the S Pen quite a bit because it has the coverage on the front and on the back. Not all cases will have that, but otherwise, pretty much a straightforward case. Very nice and very easy. No issues with wireless charging, reverse wireless charging, and of course, looks great, especially on the green one, or if you get some of those custom colors available. Again, this is the Whitestone dome glass case. This is called the diamond case for the S23 Ultra. The next cases we're going to take a look at are for the S23 Ultra from ESR, and of course they make cases for some of the for the other options that we have as well. They do have a glass protector for the camera optics on the back. I'll let that focus, and that gives us the ability of protecting the cameras and of course the different elements in the back here, and it should be compatible with their cases as well, but we'll talk about that in a second. So we'll put that right here. There's a few configuration options. We have an air shield here, which is a case with a kickstand. This one also features a kickstand in a unique experience. It's called the Classic Kickstand Case. We have, of course, the Crytek, hopefully I'm saying that correctly, clear case that also allows us to enjoy protection, but with an ability of seeing how our device looks. Last but not least, we have the shock armor, and this is going to be the kickstand edition as well, but it also provides us a little bit more protection on the outer rim of the device with, again, the shock armor functionality, and of course includes that kickstand in the back. First case is going to be the Crytek one. This is the clear one. Again, pretty simple, pretty easy. You put your device in there, pop it in on all different areas, and you're pretty much set. Everything is pretty much covered. It is raised on the back here for the cameras, but you notice there's a little bit of a bump around it. So the optics themselves are not going to be concerned if you put them straight on the table. There is that raised lip here as well for the top as well as the bottom for when you put the device on the table. Of course, I do recommend putting in a glass protector. The power button and the volume rocker are covered. Wireless charging, reverse wireless charging looks great here, no issues at all. Of course, here we actually get the experience entirely the color of our device because it doesn't cover any part of that. One thing I will say that there's a little bit of an opening here that enables us to actually pull out the S Pen very easily and then put it back in when we don't need to use it. Ports opening, of course, for the speaker. We don't have access to the SD card. You do need to, or well, not SD card, to the SIM tray. You need to be able to put that in there. But otherwise, it looks really good and gives us a really good configuration and look at our S23 Ultra, or even S23 or S23 Plus. The next two cases we're going to take a look at again is the air shield one. This one looks exactly like the case that we just looked at, which is the Crytek one, except that it includes a kickstand that also has a very nice configuration hinge. You notice it doesn't actually move around. Again, pretty much just put your phone in here, pop it in, you get full view of your device, you can enjoy the color, you can set your device straight up in this format, or of course, you can also set it up in more of a landscape experience if you want to be able to watch content on that. Once you're done, close it up and you're ready to go. Looks really good, very nice. Although we do have a little bit of a bump on the bottom, the wireless coil is going to be a little bit higher than that, so it should not be any issue for wireless charging, reverse wireless charging, or even Samsung Pay. All the configurations with the buttons, the raised lip here for the display, the camera optics are covered, the openings on the bottom, pretty much again, similar experience, S Pen access, very easy, very simple, no issues at all. And of course, everything else looks and functions the way you'd expect. Again, this is the Air Shield Boost with the kickstand case that's available from ESR. Okay, so the next case we're going to take a look at is a little bit of a unique case. First and foremost, it's a smoky color, so although we are able to see our device, we are not able to see the color exactly as it is. I think we could probably see the general tone of the color, but we could definitely see it over here. There's an opening for the camera. Now the cameras are protected with this nice little metallic ring, but this is where it becomes a little bit more functional, is because we're actually able to pop this ring to make it into a kickstand. This is where the kickstand is actually built in to this case without having to have a kickstand sitting in the bottom. So closing it down, again, looks very nice and very thin. It is a little bit of a thicker case, so when you put it on the table, there is going to be a little bit of a wobble, but this is definitely going to work much better than when you were using it like this. So overall, it works really good. You don't have the ability of setting it up standing up like this, but you can set it up more of a length situation and just more so to be able to look at it. I don't recommend typing anything on it. Overall, very nice. Again, opening for, let's go ahead and bring it up here. Opening for the microphone, a little bit of a lip at the top, coverage for the cameras, the buttons are covered. Everything pretty much the exact same. The coverage here for the S Pen is actually more uniform, but still makes it very easy to be able to pull it out. The only thing I would probably say is push with your finger and pull with your nail. You should be pretty much easily accessed. And of course, all the other ports are there and configured correctly. Looks really good, and I can imagine that it would look a little bit different if we had let's say a darker color on the device or even a lighter one. But again, it's a smoky finish to the back, really good wireless charging, reverse wireless charging, no problem. Now the last case we have here from ESR is the shock armor. Now this is a kickstand case that also includes that kickstand around the ring, but it actually includes a frame. So it's slightly a different configuration. You need to put your device into the frame. Well, actually, let's put it in the right format. And this becomes more of a frame that enables us to actually insert this into the case. It's a little bit more ruggedized, provides a little bit more shock absorption with that frame, because now we actually have additional material, not just the case itself to protect our device, but we also have that frame that's built in here, and of course gives us the ability of providing the best experience from ESR. We have a lanyard option sitting on the side. Make sure you close all the different configurations here so you have that best grip. It does not have a glass protector, but you should be able to use a glass protector with this. It does sit all the way on the edge. Of course, the volume rocker is configured here, opening for the microphone. Same thing at the bottom, except we do have now a door for the USB-C charging port, so that actually provides a little bit of protection. Speakers open. Here, we actually have more of a flush opening. Let's go ahead and bring this over. So here it becomes a little bit easier to actually bring up the S Pen, which is something that is different than some of the other cases. You notice here my finger goes all the way down. Although it is not necessarily covering it entirely, it is still providing the best protection on it because it's open on there. So it's hard for us to hit a surface unless it's more of a pointed edge to hit the S Pen on this case. As far as the kickstand, similar experience. You just basically pop it up from one side, and now you have the ability of setting your device down and using it. Of course, when you don't need it, close it up and pretty much gives you the same thing. Sorry for the cat hair, it's actually under there, and of course it's pretty nice. This is going to be, again, the shock armor kickstand case from ESR. Now the next set of cases that we're going to look at are from VRS Design, again made for the S23 Ultra, and we have three different kinds of cases here with a couple of configuration options. We have the Glide Pro, we have the Glide Hybrid, and of course we have the Neo Flip. Now, different options in here. So here we have the black groove option here, as well as having the green groove. Same thing here, the green groove and the black groove. So we'll get a chance to, let's go ahead and do this. We'll do a green groove on this side, a black groove on this side, and of course we'll do the active matte black on the last. Now, you probably recognize the first characteristic of these cases is that the fact that these cases not only provide us protection, but it also provides us the ability of having a nice little holder for our IDs and our credit cards when we're traveling. So overall here, most of them are sliders, so you can definitely see here, but this one includes a kickstand in the back. And here we don't have the kickstand, but we have definitely a slightly different experience. But again, same thing, sliding option that we have in here. All three of these case types are going to be providing us the best experience in, of course. We go ahead and slide in our device. Now, first thing you'll probably notice out of the box is that because of the bump on the back of these devices, we're not going to be able to use wireless charging or reverse wireless charging. And that's because of the placement of the actual configuration. Also, even if it is empty, it does provide a big enough of a gap that it will reduce, if not hinder, the functionality. So just be aware of that if you're thinking of cases like this. But this is going to be one of those really good cases that you don't have to carry your wallet as well as your device and your wallet separately. You put them together, your ID can go in there, you can hold up to 3 cards in here, close it up and hear that click, and it's definitely very nice. Of course, let's go ahead and bring that back. It does provide us a coverage on the front. We have that lip providing coverage protection, volume rocker, power button are covered. The camera optics are protected on not only with the actual ring around it, but also because of the raised experience. Now, because this is actually sitting in the back, let's go ahead and bring it in. It is actually not going to have any wobble issues because it's actually across the back. Overall, very nice. The dual tone color that we have in here looks really, really unique. The S Pen on the bottom is protected. Again, pretty much push in, pull out with the nail, works perfectly fine. Speaker, volume rocker, well, not volume rocker, speaker and USB-C look good. And of course, just customize it to the way you want. Looks really nice and gives you the experience that you want. Although you'll be able to see what's inside, it's still nice to have it so you don't have to carry 2 things at once. Now, the last 2 we talked about again is the Glide Hybrid and the Glide Pro. The Glide Hybrid has a kickstand in the back, and that's pretty much the only difference between the two. Configuration-wise, pretty much identical, and of course gives you the same experience on the top. You get these little fake rivets that are set up on the side. Of course, the thickness on this is also going to be the same as what we saw with the first case. Unfortunately, no wireless charging or reverse wireless charging. We do have lanyard options. I didn't get a chance to show that to you guys before. On the crystal one here, on the Neo Flip, we do not have it, but on these two options, as far as the Glide Hybrid and the Glide Pro, we do have them available in here. Otherwise, pretty straightforward. Lip protection on the top, configuration for the bottom for the buttons. And this one gives us a little bit of an easier configuration. You push in and pull out, and it's available on the front of the device as opposed to most of them where it's on the back. It still provides us a big enough of a protection on it, but again, easier to pull out. The case is recessed a little bit more here, so you do need to make sure you use a cable that's a little bit longer, although it is wide enough that it should be able to accommodate most cables. Speaker-wise, the same thing, but otherwise, pretty straightforward. You want a kickstand, you can set it up this way. The device will stand up the way you want it. You want to set it up in a more of a landscape experience, it's going to work the same. If you don't want it, bring it in, make sure you hear that little click, and of course, if you want to do that, and your device sits straight. Now it does wobble a little bit because this is higher than the standard, but again, something to keep in mind. This is intended to be more of a kickstand case for your S23 Ultra. So the last cases we're taking a look at are the Poetic Cases. These are the Poetic Cases made for the S23 as well as the S23 Ultra, as well as the S23 Plus as well. But those are the two we're going to be sharing cases for. We have the Neon, the Guardian, we have an additional Neon here, Poetic Guardian in here, Poetic Spartan in there as well. And if I'm not true, okay, here it is, the Poetic Revolution as far as the case configuration. So we're going to look at them and see how they fit. We're going to start off with the Neon or the Poetic Neon case. Now this is actually a very nice case. Again, mil standard case, 810G. Gives us the ability of putting our device easily. You just basically slide it in, and that's what it looks like on the S23 Ultra, and then pretty much the same. Both of them look really good as far as the configuration. They have a nice little grip, a flat surface on the back. Of course, camera configuration is protected on both sides. Buttons are covered on both sides, and we have a nice little grip on the top and bottom, so it's not going to slip out at all. We have a microphone opening at the top, and of course on the bottom. On the S23 Ultra, we have an opening for the S Pen, but of course otherwise on the Plus and the Standard, we just have the USB-C and the speaker, which is what we have in here. The S23 Ultra does have the pen coverage all around. You have to push and pull with it, so that's pretty much the experience. But otherwise, pretty much nice cases. These are, again, the Neon, Poetic Neon Samsung cases for the S23, 3 Plus, as well as the 3 Ultra. The next two cases we're going to look at are actually a combination cases. The first one on the right side we're going to look at is the Spartan. This is the Poetic Spartan case. Now they have one, of course, for the S23, but for this one I decided to go with the Guardian edition. The Guardian is a little bit more of a see-through case. The main benefit here is that both of them offer us a case that involves two configuration. One, that you're able to use your own glass protector. Two, a second one that provides a plastic protector with an adhesive for the fingerprint sensor. So this is going to be great if you don't want to buy an extra glass protector, you just want to be able to insert this in. And of course, make sure that this piece of adhesive on the inside sticks to the actual area on the fingerprint sensor for your device to be able to get that fingerprint sensor running every single time. One of the biggest thing I'll probably say is that these are two-piece cases, so you do need to pop them open on the sides. And when you do that, you're able to pick it up. There is a kickstand on the back one on this one, so you can basically pull it up, bring it back in, make it flat. Again, very much the same experience on the S23. When you're ready to put your device in, you can select this option, and again, make sure you remove the plastics because you don't need all of that information. Well, the plastic doesn't need to be there, but essentially all you're doing here is removing here. You peel this off. There is a small circle. Hopefully you guys can see that. That little circle essentially is going to adhere to the fingerprint sensor on your device. Now, personally, I like to use glass protectors, my own personal basically choice of glass protectors. So what I like to do here is I like to use this version of it that does not include. It's basically just transparent, pretty much what we've seen from before. You just insert your device into the configuration the way you want it. Insert your device into it, and of course make sure that all of the groove are configured correctly. And you know what you have in here, essentially, if you do want to know, once you're done, when you have it configured the right way, and let's say you want to remove it in the future, there's a little bit of a groove here that enables us to actually just remove that and get the case removed. This is going to work with basically aftermarket glass protectors or other glass protectors. Configuration, very nice, very rugged. Again, we do have that kickstand in the back. The optics are very much protected. Volume rocker, power button, opening for the microphone at the top. On the bottom, you have that opening for the S Pen, so you don't have any problems in there, and it is actually flush, so no need to actually kind of go digging for it. You do have a cover for the USB-C port, but the speaker is open. So definitely very nice. And they do include, by the way, the cleaning material when you're setting it up for your device. For the S23, you just put that in. Oops. Put the device in the right configuration so you don't actually have it falling out. And then, of course, just pop it in the side. And pretty much the same experience. Just push it in and make sure that it actually aligns all the way even on the bottom. Once you have that in, cover the case, looks really good. You can enjoy the color of your device without the kickstand, unfortunately, but wireless charging and reverse wireless charging should be perfectly fine on both of these, as they're not actually very thick on the back, but they do provide you that rugged case configuration that we always wanted. As far as the opening, same thing on the bottom. We have a cover for the USB-C. Only opening is for the speaker on the S23, S23 Plus. On the Ultra, we have the S Pen. Now, the last case we have here is the Revolution, which essentially is a combination of the two cases that we saw in there. And for the most part, kickstand, again, same opening, all the other stuff, as far as also configuration for covering the port. And of course, the actual one with the glass the plastic protector that comes with it, or the see-through, the way we have it on the S23, as well as the S23 Plus or Ultra on this side. Very nice, very simple. And again, this one is primarily just going to be great protection with a kickstand for the S23 series 3 and the 3 Plus, as well as the 3 Ultra. I realize that case videos are definitely long, so hopefully you guys enjoyed, or you found one of these cases that appeals to your design. We had cases that are nice and thin. We have cases that are protected. Of course, we have cases that carry cards, your wallet, kind of an experience on your phone. But we also had cases that provided as extra protection, as well as screen protection, if you'd like to put that in there. Just make sure with the cases from Poetic, if you're going to be using them, on the front there is that little ring of an adhesive that I showed you guys, and make sure you clean your display before you put that on. And once you put it on there, try not to remove it too many times, because the moment you remove it, obviously you're inserting dust and so on, and that may compromise the experience. And at that point, my recommendation would be just to go and use the clear one, the option where you're able to put in your own glass protector. A lot of cases, great options, and hopefully great protection for your S23, S23 Plus, as well as S23 Ultra. Like and subscribe as usual. Thank you very much for the support. I hope you had a great day. I'll see you in the next one.